I'm Father Lino Estadilla. I'm an oblate of the Virgin Mary, and I'm stationed here in the Formation House in Cebu. I was born here in the Philippines in an island called Luzon, and when I was 22, I moved to the United States. I was in the US Navy. I did graduate work there, studied there, and then I worked for several years. And then I encountered my vocation there. And that was the Oblates of the Virgin Mary. When I found out about them, I visited in Boston and I fell in love with the congregation. It was actually in 1997 when the first Oblate priest arrived here. He came from Rome, Father Tam Haki. And for the first 2 years, he was giving retreats. In year 2000, that's when he started to look for a place, to look for a property where we can build a seminary. And so I think towards the end of 2000, that's when we broke ground and we started building this place. Two missions here, two important missions is to form seminarians and also to impart the charism of the Oblates, which is giving retreats. Among Asians, the Filipinos are known as, they're not really Asians, but more westernized in terms of the influences of the American culture. So English is widely spoken. Even the tricycle drivers or the taxi drivers could speak basic English, some more fluent. And we're freedom-loving, very freedom-loving Filipinos, like some of the Asian cultures are stricter than the Filipino culture, so that's why there's a lot of sometimes disorder in terms of traffic, although they're not virtuous, but because of freedom, we value freedom. Filipinos value freedom a lot. There's a lot of poverty, and that's the first thing that would contrast the American culture, the American way of living from the Filipino way of living. And of course, we live our lives here very, very simply because we don't want to insulate ourselves from the poverty that's surrounding us. In fact, the priest who came here first, they wanted to build a place near the people who are poor so that we don't get insulated from them. One of the things that we emphasize so that the young man would expect is rigor and discipline. We'd like to really emphasize that in the formation program. So as soon as the young man enters, he's already inducted into that kind of daily life. Rescue your people, show us your face. They wake up at 5:15. And by 5:45, they should be ready for morning prayer. Then we have daily Mass at 6. And as soon as Mass is over, they do eat their breakfast. And it has to be fast because at 7 a.m. then they have to leave for school.
Final exams.
Yes, final exams.
Last day?
Last day.
So our postulants go study philosophy at the Rogationists Seminary College. It's run by the congregation of the Rogationists, whose primary mission is really to promote vocations. So they're very much involved in training postulants. So when they come back, They come back around an hour after noon, and then they take their lunch, and then they would take a few minutes of nap time. We call it siesta here. It's very common. And by 3 p.m. they should be up to do their spiritual reading. And by 4 p.m. they'll be doing sports.
We lost.
O Sacrament most holy, O Sacrament divine.
And then around 5:30 they're back in the chapel to do the holy hour. And we expose the Blessed Sacrament every day. And by 6:30 the holy hour is done. That includes also the evening prayer. And so then we eat supper. And after that, there's about 30 to 45 minutes of recreation. They watch TV or play board games. And then study time comes. And then by 8:45, they're back in the chapel for their examen and night prayer. And then they go back to the library to continue their study. And then around 10:45 or 11, they go to sleep.
Hello, I'm Father Gregory Short, usually Greg Short, Oblate of the Virgin Mary. We're here in Antipolo, just due east of the metropolis of Manila in the Philippines. Well, I've been here in the Philippines since 2001, and I spent the better part of 10 years there in Cebu. In 2011, I came here to Antipolo to begin a second community. This one would be for the novitiate and for the theology students. In Cebu, we have what are called the postulants. That would be the first level of entry, at the end of which, if they are encouraged, they can make a petition to enter novitiate, at the end of which they would make first vows, and then they begin their theology. And so they remain here in this house and would commute with the others to their classes at the Recoleto School of Theology.
To invoke ourselves into exegetical method, we need to cultivate this kind of skills.
But because we're studying theology, we focus our interpretation of exegetical method based on biblical exegesis.
We give many retreats, so while we're working with our own seminarians, we can accept some private retreatants. 1 or 2 people may come as well as for ongoing formation. Those who are already priests and religious and missionaries, they will come here to spend a year or so, and they need retreats, and so they will call on us. So we're not only working with Filipino seminarians, our own and those of others, but we're helping in a significant way the mission of the wider church in East Asia, South Asia, even the Pacific region. Once or twice a year, I'm also invited to give retreats in other countries from here. So I've been to Mongolia, to Japan, to Korea, to Cambodia, where I see the difficulties of mission life in the church in Asia and in the South Pacific, and we're assisting the broader missionary work of the church. We are presently helping out in 3 parishes nearby with Sunday Masses, on occasion with confessions, even sometimes weekday Mass. And we have several convent of sisters who need Mass, and we help them out with retreats, recollections.
I am Brother Alex Jufel Baldado, Boholano, and a seminarian of the Oblates of the Virgin Mary. It's not only physical, it's not only spiritual, but it's a complete formation program that the Oblates did to us here in the Philippines. And for me, the fruit I can say right now is that, well, I am not fragmented, I am not divided, but I am united as me. And I can say that I owe this all to the trainings that I had with Father Greg Short, because for many years we've been together. He was like my tata, my father in the community. I am happy, contented now, even if I don't have money, if I don't have wealth, even if I don't have a good job or beautiful houses. Just being with the people, serving them, meeting them, and inspiring them, sharing to them what is life and what is the love of God. And that's really the fulfillment that I was looking for, and that was also my contentment in life. I'm contented and happy now.